So, yeah, just check.
Lock the door.
Well done. That was brilliant.
I don't think it was brilliant. I did, and I messed the end up because I was like, I got to the end, I was like a racehorse. You know when you get to the final bit and you can be like, I don't want to move this because Billy's home. Can you move it around the other side of the table? It was just the end, because like, you know when you get to the end you can see that like the end is in sight, and I could see it, but I just like, I'll get through this, I need to get through this. An internet man was sat in the front.
Yeah.
So, all good. Right, I'm just going to shut that door.
It's a bit freezing.
Do you know what, I'm actually quite hot. I hate to say it.
Yeah, they are, but it's still not warm enough.
Alright, I'm going to snuggle up to Vicky, that will.
You can snuggle up to me, Ray.
Yeah.
I make quite good snuggly up material, apparently. Apart from it, don't you draw to that, wouldn't you? That's true. Yeah, I think it was the right thing to exclude communication. I felt in control, and I think if I feel in control, I'm alright. It's when I'm not in control. No, I saw that email, and I printed it out, and I had it here, and it was good to go, and I was going to quote it, but you know when you just think, I just need to get going, and in my head, because I spent a lot of yesterday going over this and being ready. I need to be in control, I need to have all the information, and you need to just let me get on with it, and that's pretty much where I was, but it's alright.
I agree, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
And that took
tomorrow.
completely out of Gail's sales, because
What
this
was that?
document, it's all about defib, just
Yeah.
banging on about defib, or we've just cut her off with a piece
Yes,
of
and
With a
that
much
is
better
why,
solution.
but that is why I prepared the report from both HR. I'd like somebody from HR to read that HR
Yeah.
statement tomorrow. If we could get, Matt won't be here, so I don't know who else is on HR. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, well she'll do it then. I'll tell her. She gets
That was
asked.
at the door.
Oh, was it? What did she want?
She just wanted to check we were all right. She didn't want to come in.
Yeah.
She just wanted to check there was nothing picking up, so
Yeah.
that she could be the telephone, the police, or whatever. Actually.
Yeah.
So I just said no, we're all fine. And she said I'm not coming in. I just wanted to know. So.
No, she didn't want to be. She just didn't want to be. She doesn't want to be there tomorrow. I don't think
I
any of
see
us
Gail
do.
down there talking to Aldridge.
Oh, leave them to it.
Was Aldridge here?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
You see, I didn't look at the audience. I just kept head down, kept going.
Oh,
because
I did. They were looking down all the
No,
time.
I needed to just focus. But that
And
tomorrow,
Goodwin, so he can't say he's not in the loop.
no.
See, children.
Yeah. Anyway, leave them to it. There's no to talk about. Okay.
Tomorrow night, I would like the defib to go the same way as it did tonight. I know I don't have control of that, and I know that's Billy's chair.
I don't think anybody in their right mind would vote for any other option other than the rental option. Because every year that defib gets upgraded.
Yeah.
Why would you not do that? So it's the perfect
That's what I
solution.
said, this is what, offshore, marine,
Yeah.
offshore and onshore in my industry, they all do the same.
It's not necessarily a decision, but I think the research is very tight and it's very sewn up, and I'd
Yeah.
like it to be presented in that way because
I think we need to put that on each chair. I would print it out and put it on each chair because and then you can recognise this, or we recognise this as being a real hot potato across social media. And what we would like you to do is to understand the background and context of this.
Yeah.
And on your chair you'll find an outline. And I would put it on my chair. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was a 5-year rolling
I
contract.
have actually read that. I have read that, but I will ring if you want me to and double check it.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Have you seen something I haven't then? Right, but so have you seen something I haven't then? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I would say just check it because I don't know. So I wouldn't want you to say something that I don't know.
Why don't you know?
Well, you didn't know, and I asked the question.
To be honest, I thought it was a 5-year rolling contract.
That's not what it said, because it said it reduces after a year. It's a year, you pay it yearly
But
up
it doesn't
front.
matter. It doesn't matter. It can be an annual contract, or it can be a 6-year contract with an annual rolling contract, which you're committed to 6 years, not just 12 months.
Let's be honest though, are any of us actually going to be here in 5 years' time?
Well, no, but we still need to do proper governance. Answer the question, and then that's a good way to do it, because that was a question I asked tonight. So we can say, in response to the question that was asked at the finance meeting, we've clarified that. And we've also clarified the liability situation, because that will be a biggie, I think. And if we just say, obviously, our liability is limited to failure to maintain and monitor, that's good enough.
I would say that's exactly what it is. I would say as long as we follow the maintenance programme, the liability falls with each.
Which is usually what happens.
Follow it, and Mark will follow it. This will be with everything else. So I would say that the liability does pass to the company as long as we maintain it.
But I think showing that we've done the due diligence is really important, particularly at the council meeting, because that's what they'll do the due diligence, they'll check. And if we haven't got it right, then we've made a decision on the basis of an uninformed case. So they're the two biggies for me. Right.
Okay, we're ready to move on. Let's go.
Well done, Vicky. That was brilliant.
Well, no one died, so that's a bonus in
And
my
you were
book.
very quiet. I was expecting a right one.
I was, yeah.
And where's Heather and all this?
Adrian came. I'm so pleased Adrian
Yeah,
came
he's a
along.
good guy.
He is.
And who was the woman who...
Claire as well.
Yeah, and Claire.
Yeah, and
Who was the
Claire.
woman
And
that...
Jill.
Jill.
Nigel's
Who's the
wife.
woman that...
I don't know. Who's
Well, when I went to answer the door, she had a face like a bulldog chewing a wasp. I thought, oh, I know who you are. So I said, good morning.
Who is she?
I don't know, but she's one of his cronies, isn't
Yeah.
she?
I'm wondering if she's the one to come in with the hood on with flowers. Is that
No, that was a skinnier woman.
Is it?
Oh, did I say that out loud?
But anyway, I don't really care. To be honest, I don't really care who they are.
Annalise,
Let's
a bit
just mop
chill.
on. I've got to get to the special this afternoon.
Right, yes. I've got that Thursday. Looking forward to that. Right. Number 10, membership of the Finance Committee. Don't think we really need to discuss this, do we?
No.
Let's be honest.
Head up, thank you.
Just before that, we've had 2 applications. One from a very good councillor called Head Up Howard, who would be my recommendations are a vote for very articulate, very trustworthy, and we've had an application from another person who clear up top on the outside line for a house. And I would recommend that you seek a person you can trust and seek a person that's not going to stab you in your back very quickly.
Did she ask? I think that's how we answer it.
Yeah. I think, well, we have to say, look, there are
Trust and confidence.
code of conduct has clearly not been followed. The policy's not been followed by this person. And confidentiality and the code of conduct is key to any financial decision.
I was going to go down the route.
And I would read that out at the public forum
Yeah,
and let no one fucking hear it, because I'm sick of tiptoeing around stupid women.
fair enough. I was going to go soft option. No, I was going to go soft option because... Right, no, but hang on. Which councillor turned up at the light switch on and mucked in and sorted out the budget and the finances and the things?
Yeah.
Like, where was the other councillor at the tractor run? Oh yeah, she did turn up to give me a copy of an alleged email that I alleged sent, can I just say?
Yeah.
And then, so where was this? Where was that? And I think Heather already deals with an awful lot of the financial side. She'll go and buy stuff that's needed. She budgets stuff in. So as far as I'm concerned, I think she would be an asset in,
absolutely,
particularly when we are looking at organising events.
Yeah.
That was my soft option. Do we not like my soft option?
Yeah, go on, go on.
I would say, when you talk about the day tomorrow night, I would say the recommendation of the council, of the committee is Heather, and I wouldn't say too much more, because all you're giving is a recommendation.
Yeah.
If they ask you why, say this is discussed in a closed session, and the report is kept in the archive. But it's the recommendation of the finance committee that we recommend Councillor Howard, because we feel he would be better for the finance committee. And I wouldn't say too much more.
You're a right killjoy, you are.
No, but it's the right.
I would like to say, because the next person that sees Mr. Scale is going to be the person that throws saffron on my coffee, but I can't say that.
Are you still recording this?
That's what I would say.
Wait, are you still recording this?
Maybe.
You're so in trouble. You're in trouble. I'd be careful.
I've got to have dirt on all three of you.
Yeah, that is actually my concern, Mr. Baxter. It really is. Fair enough. Okay, right. Well, we've
You
got.
have so much dirt on me that I don't really care.
Yeah, but I just would never use that much. It would never happen. Right. So I think we agreed 10 then, people.
Yes.
We're
Definitely.
agreed. Done.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 11. Legal claims to pursue debts owed to the parish council. So I'm a bit confused about this because a while ago we talked about going for reclaiming that £1,500 for the windows and the money that he paid for his own pension contribution. I'm just why haven't we actually sued his ass?
Sorry, why have we what?
Why haven't we sued his backside? Why haven't we gone after it?
Well, because there was no direction. Because initially, if you're going to go down the civil route, you're waiting for any criminality first.
Yeah.
Because the civil route is a lot easier than criminality. Obviously, the police have now made a horrendous
Absolutely.
wash their hands of it. So now, the one thing I would recommend to finance, economic council, I think you might struggle on the pension as much as I agree you should have done that. The court might look at to say it was a contractual obligation by the employer. However, the window, or the window appraisal, or whatever the word was, this is where he hasn't completed to get paid himself. So I would recommend is to seek a civil remedy in regard to the window or the window work.
No.
The way it
I
would
disagree.
operate,
I'll go the other way around.
initially, I would write formally to him to say, we formally asked for the repayment of X amount of money, and it's 1,500 something, I don't know exactly how much it is, we'll find out. We give him a certain period of time, 14 days, something like that. If he doesn't pay, he won't pay. He then writes another letter to say, you missed the deadline, we give you a further 7 days, and a final reminder. The reason why I say 2 reminders is the courts like that to make sure that one doesn't come to the post. Then if he misses the final reminder after 7 days, he then goes down the money claims, small claim procedure. Off the top of my head, it's between £35 and £50 to submit the claim. Any costs that you make or have to pay is added on to the actual debts. That goes through, you submit the evidence, they then write to him to say, a fair we made against you for X amount of money. You have, I think it's either 21 or 28 days to either pay it, defend it, or those are the two options really. And if he pays it, we'll finish the process. If he defends it, or refutes it, it then goes to court. It will generally take about 3 or 4 months to get to court minimum, and it used to be 6 to 9 months. So the one question that I would raise, if we start this and the council makeup is different and the clerk makeup can't roll into this person, it will take a minimum of probably 4 months at least to get to see it to the end. And if we get towards the end and the clerk is different and the council is or the councillors are different, it might be wasting money. So the difficulty here is if we can start it and issue a letter to him, just cost effective, all of them half an hour of my time, and then make a decision whether he wants to actually go down the court route in probably about 4 to 6 weeks' time, and then a decision can be made whether the clerk is going to be the same or the council is going to be the same.
Well, it won't. It won't be the same, will it? But did the last administration consider us when they started the ball rolling over this ridiculous fence issue? No. And they knew they were going to resign. So I as far as I can see, I don't think it matters whether we're here or not. It sends, even if he only gets the message and the next lot decide not to do anything about it, it sends a sting of actually we're not taking this lying down. I don't agree with you over the pension at all. That was his contribution that he should have paid.
It's not what I agree, it's what I know the court will look at. And that's what
But we've paid his contribution. Yes, we have a liability for his. You're just nodding at me now, I can see. But
No, I agree. I agree with you. I absolutely 100% agree with you. I'm just looking at what the court is likely to look at. And I know how good we look at now go, well, the pension, everybody deserves a pension.
Yes, but I don't understand why
Yeah, but we paid our contribution.
yeah,
so
I
he
paid
should-
my
he
own.
should pay his own.
Yeah,
Or we can go down the road.
yeah, I think we both.
More from experience, I know how good we look at those things. And
Well,
it's
maybe we
like,
could.
no, I agree. I think it's made it absolutely wrong. But I'm just telling you what I know how the courts operate. And they side with victims very quickly. And if we go for defenders, not basically widows, and the pension, it might be more mixed up. We'll concentrate on the widows. Him as a businessman, not as an employee.
So when
But the question on the windows, though, because he came back after he'd left to start repairing it, and we stopped him because it's the same. It would be the same as the building.
Yeah, I would say, and the issue with the defence contribution is, if he used to witnesses and say, well, we need to get a contribution for this, and that's what constantly where with the windows, we showed X to 1, work amount paid, X to 2, no work done, or very little work done. And that's, but the initial letters that I write to him don't cost anything. They are, pay us back 1,500 or whatever. Then you can make a decision after that when you just pay after. There is the right to use the back. When you want to go into proper submission in court.
I think Opal, the one you've got the most, it really sticks in my throat about the about the pension contribution. But I would imagine that is the repairs which weren't done. I think probably is more visible
yeah,
to the people in the village.
and actually that's what the people in the village. I mean, it's only about 640 quid, isn't it? Which in the grand scheme of things isn't massive. The windows, I think, is more of a
1200 or
statement.
something. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, all right. You're right. Did I say that out loud? No, you don't.
It's equal spinning, it could go to the pension as well. So they're trying to get money on me that I was speaking to, or in regards to pension, I'm just a pensioner, blah, 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 blah. He will spin that in a big way. And when he gets to court, he will go to say, this big horrible parish council is trying to take my pension money off me. I have no other income. And he will use that as possible. I've seen it done because I've seen it done in front of me. And that is what about fear. And as soon as you lose the judge, in regards to that, I will walk out. Because often they take a viewpoint and that's it. In regards to the repair of the window, it's more practical. People take to a job,
And that's going to be something they're more used to as well, isn't it? That they will see more like that than.
And again, it makes me feel really to say defend something that we do against or counter against it. But I know how to operate. And if you lose their goodwill,
You're right. Yeah, right. Yeah, all right. Okay. I know. I've never. Okay. Don't mean it that way. Don't mean it that I said you're right.
So, just to clarify, in interpretation, I'll write a letter to him saying you won't be, well, I don't know, something I'll get the next day. You have 21 days, or no, actually 14 days, plus you 14 days to pay. And if he doesn't reply
Both?
Yeah, I'll second. Carey shivering, just agree.
Yeah, unanimous vote.
All right.
If I thought we could win against the attention,
Oh,
I would personally go, and if I didn't do it myself, I would sit in the background.
Interesting.
so as long as no drama, I can't deal with any of
Even
it.
if I'm not far, I'm still going to sit in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
Sorry, she was talking, not the air.
I switched up.
I was making a personal comment on the question of Mr. Shaw's father and whether he knows.
If he knows it, I don't suppose he wants anything to do with it. Right, so have you decided on that one then?
Yeah, we're doing it. Right, number 12, review of costs of actual FOI, SR and data protection applications.
I've written to everybody. I've updated a couple of times for council. It's well in excess of 1,000 quid, which is around about 60 hours of work. We generally pay for every FOI. You are probably talking 5 to 10 hours. You've got to make sure it's built all the criteria. You've got to follow the process, and you've got to make sure that any of the exemptions aren't applicable. Some of them I know off the top of my head, some of them I want to look into a bit more detail. Then you've obviously got to respond to issue calls. Most of them we say is an exception, and then we have further work when someone complains to the ICO to say we haven't fulfilled the requirements of our police. SARs, obviously we've had one from Shaw himself. We've had multiple emails, and I've never actually met him. I wanted his ID. He refused to do that. Again, it's time to do research and speak to the ICO. Before again, it takes time. And in regard to data protection stuff and complaints, and I know there wasn't specifically on the agenda, it takes time. And I would say, well, in excess of 50 hours, which should be spent 2/3 of a working month. And look at what I get paid, probably well in excess of 1,000 quid. And that's a conservative estimate, to be honest. That is actual, because sometimes the research can take a long time relating to the actual legislation itself and things in writing. So, in regard to that, I would say in excess of 1,000 quid would be my professional estimate.
So my next question is then, how easy is it for you to create a report that tells us how many of these we've had since, obviously, only since your reign, because you can't do it prior to, because you wouldn't.
Well, I know of some
Heather might be able to.
that have been made,
Yeah.
that I dealt with when I got it.
What I'm looking for really is cold, hard. We've had this amount of FOIs this month, this amount of complaints this month. So that really, I think, for two reasons. One, I think it makes it very, very clear to the public that this is what it is. This is how much it's roughly costing. And we're not saying don't complain about us. We're just saying don't diss us on Facebook and tell us that we're not doing a good job when actually this is what we're up against. And also, I think it corresponds with employee costs, because we get a lot of, we're paying you too much overtime, which is utter crap when we get to the next bit. But actually, it goes hand in hand, and I'm all about cold, hard facts that we can shoot back. None of this he said, she said, because that's where we're getting criticised. So what I'm really looking for is a report that gives me this information in cold, hard. If we have to redact the names on it, that's not a problem. But I need to know.
Could we show it, because we have the percentage of overtime as opposed to the last equivalent period. Could we show what percentage of your overtime was taken up by FOIs and requests for information?
It's sort of, to be honest, because it was, although when I did mention on the stuff that I sent everybody roughly, it wasn't in a lot of detail. I can do my best to say, look, I did 60 to 70 hours over the last 9 months. I've worked X amount. So I can do a percentage of my total hours rather than just the overtime and anything from that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't tested
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Because that's clear, that's one figure that people can clearly understand. So if we're able, and I'm just working off the top of my head, to show the average per month overtime from Tony to you, which I think we're about an hour adrift, something like that, and then you say, and of that overtime, X percentage was actually taken up by 15
Yes.
ROIs,
Yes.
complaints, whatever, which actually is time which is taking you away from the normal running of the council.
The only thing you have to be careful of is that they don't turn around and say, oh, well, you've had all those. Obviously, you're not doing the job, and people are...
Well, you need to say vexatious.
But if it was...
You have really have to
can you put in there how many have been upheld?
What about if...
We haven't been to Italy waiting for ID from Baxter and Alcoholics were waiting for their ID, so we're in a suspense of that.
But you can say for the ones that have been submitted.
Yeah, but in a school, when we're writing reports, we refer to them as child A and child B. Is there any reason how we can't go, person A submitted an FOI in January, then one in February? We're not saying who A, B, C, D and they are, but it would be very clear that we're not receiving 20 complaints from 20 different people.
Yes, that's what we need.
And that's what we that would eliminate that. We're not identifying anybody, we're not saying who it is.
Yeah.
But we know that person A submitted an FOI in 3 months in a row, or whatever it comes back at.
As long as we then don't put a specific date to the month, so someone can say, well, it was my fault, everybody else has been going off June. So as long as we say in June rather than the following June,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, what goes out to the public can be sketchy, as long as if we get any follow-up from that, we can say, well, actually, so if we do get a complaint about the document that we produce, we can say that obviously it's protected and it's redacted and all the rest of it, but we do have the real evidence behind it.
Yeah, that is, that's not going to be done for tomorrow.
No.
Oh no, I don't need it for tomorrow. This is not, I need you to jump now. This is something that I need you to do, like, when you can fit it in. I know.
Oh, well done.
You told me. How's your stamina now? I said, how's your stamina now?
Yeah. I went to Vicky this morning because I wasn't there. I'm not feeling a little bit kind of normal again. So, Red Bull worked.
Oh my God,
No. You can add that to the fry up and the whiskey and the vodka list and the...
Giving away all my secret stuff.
Oh, come on, look, they've read your emails, they're not stupid. Oh,
Yeah, I must admit, one of the shots I hit, and I probably hit drive about just as I said, to the guys I was playing with, I did say, this has got a name on it, and they did ask me and I didn't tell them. Yeah, and it landed in a bit of mud.
oh no.
So much for you. This person was sat in front, and then I whacked it again.
You couldn't pay me enough to play golf. It's
Me
boring.
neither.
Boring.
Jesus.
Boring.
Right, can we move on?
Right, moving on. Right, number 13 is, that's you, Kevin.
Me?
Overtime hours.
Oh yeah, I sent it out, haven't I?
Yes.
To you.
Yes.
So basically, what I did was, and the months don't correspond, but I've created it as a percentage because we had a lot of flack. What kicked this off? We had a lot of flack about Simon's costs, and I thought it would just be quite
Well, it's
interesting.
too expensive. We
Yeah.
should just sack it.
I thought it would be quite interesting to actually interrogate the data and find out what the actual position is.
Yeah.
So what you can see there, I've sent this to Simon already. So what you can see there is the actual hours for Tony and the actual hours for our illustrious clerk. What I did was, because we changed your hours up by 12 in November and you've then since claimed no overtime, I've added back... Right, well there was 44 in October and then from November... from November, I've added in 12 back. So we can't be accused of hiding overtime. So I've assumed 12 hours overtime. So actually what you get is over the period, I think that's 9 months and this is 6 months, you've actually got 28.8 hours on average claimed by Tony a month and 29.33 hours average claimed by yourself. Now, if we went through February and you continued to claim no actual overtime and we just banked the 12, then that figure drops to 25.1. So you've actually claimed less overtime a month than TS did. Now that's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, because he didn't have any of these complaints.
And
so
on 1 month,
what was he doing?
On 1 month, Tony claimed June 22, 59 hours of overtime. So
how do you do 59
the point is how do we get this out in a managed way that doesn't breach GDPR to enable people to understand that actually, and this is why it would be very interesting to tie it into the FOIs and complaints, because if you strip that out, if we hadn't had that raft and barrage of complaints, you would have done significantly less. So if we can annex the amount that you actually had to claim unnecessarily, if I can call it that, we could then add another layer of info and intel to that. So what I would like somebody to do is to double check these figures for me, because obviously I've done them, I've checked them myself, but it would be really, really helpful just to have a second pair of eyes on it to make sure.
Those figures, are they from the...
They're from his pay slips.
Rather than saying specific amounts, you can say that it's up to the end of December or whatever date, and you can say we have figures that produce that current staff, and say current staff were on the farm, have claimed less overtime than in this year, and in 23-24, 22-23. So you're not saying how much.
Can we use the average?
You are just saying there has been less claim or something like that.
How do you feel
GDPR,
about this
that
now?
you use someone's personal data away.
Please check it.
You're not taking personal data away there. All you're saying is it's less claim this year than last year.
But can we not use the average? If we said the average overtime a month in 22-23 was 28.8 hours, and the average in 23-24 is 29.33.
I don't think that's going to work, Carey, because we didn't employ him until June. And we had no clerk.
I haven't counted June.
Yeah, but we had no clerk.
Yeah, but it's an average, so it's averaged over the months.
Yeah, but then what the public will say is what I'm saying is that, well, yeah, but that's all well and good, but we didn't have a clerk from February to June, so...
That's how the average works, because you average it over the period of time that the guy's been employed.
You started it from June. Yeah, scratch that. I'm losing
So it's
the
divided
words
by 9, divided by 6.
Yeah.
If we wait until February to announce this, then that figure drops right down to 25.1.
You're all right. I'm thinking academic years.
And that's why you need to do. That's why you need to do an average.
It's not tomorrow night. It will drop, because I won't be claiming it tomorrow, but I can assure everybody that. Why not wait until the February or March meeting, and then you can say, this year, less overtime on an average month.
Yes. And that's more powerful. And then we can also, that's why I want to say, and a percentage of that lower figure can be attributed to the barrage of FOIs and complaints that this administration has received from 3 people.
I've got it. Claire could ask that question.
I'm sure somebody...
I noticed that from your finance meeting, you were reviewing or doing a review of overtime claims. Are you in a position to report that?
So if we report it now, Simon's hours are slightly over. What we're saying is if we wait until even January or February, if he only continues to, if we count back in those 12 hours that we put on his full-time hours, that figure drops to 25. So do we want to keep our powder dry, or do we want to do it ASAP?
It depends on whether we're going to be in. It's this fighting fire, isn't it? And I think we've gone down this route of, let's hang on to it for a bit longer, let's wait a bit longer, let's wait a bit longer. And has it done us any good? No, I don't think it has. I'm all, at the minute, I'm all for, I don't know whether I'm even going to be doing this next week. If I have another weekend like I've just had, then you're going to find me somewhere else, but it won't be here. And I think, I think we'll just go for it. I think we'll just release it, because
we can carry on doing the review month on month, I guess, if we can.
We can release another review.
I'd like to do the same exercise for expenses.
Well, let's have that to the tracker then.
I'd like to do the same. Yeah.
Let's get it on the tracker.
The only issue I have is I have to work on this. A, when I've got 5 minutes, and B, when I can get a signal when I'm in Scotland.
Yeah.
And it's access to the. Before I could just go and sit in there and do it, but now I can't get access easily to the figures.
If you include end of January, so obviously I haven't played anything for what do the figures go down into the end of January?
I'd have to recalculate, just add it on and divide it.
I'm just thinking then, if you could say, at tomorrow night's meeting, by the end of January, percentage is this and this.
Yeah, I mean, that's assuming, we would be assuming that you would be claiming every overtime.
I'm not. I can assure the council I ain't claiming anything. I'm not going down that.
Yeah, but what happens if you have to do overtime,
that's the
Simon?
thing, isn't it?
What happens if something happens and you've got to do overtime? Now you're then saying that you're going to work, but you're either saying that you're not going to work and do any more than whatever, and or you're saying that you're going to do overtime but you're not going to claim for it. And we all know that you already work over your hours, so that's a big statement to say I'm not going to claim.
I can assure the council I ain't claiming any more overtime. I work more than it is, and if I have to, and it has to be part of my contribution to the running of society, against free work and all sort of things, so dear, I ain't claiming any more overtime.
Yeah,
So they're putting entry on the ledger, nail the basket. Is that right?
No, I won't be claiming any more, whatever happens.
26.8. So
So
it'll be less by about 2%, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, and if we can get a percentage in there of how many hours Simon's on average worked to do this unnecessary FOIs, etc., he'll get the wording right.
Yeah.
It would drop even further.
That's about 2% then, 2% less than this time last year.
But that's with all the extra
No,
stuff.
whatever happens,
Yeah.
I won't be claiming overtime because then you don't want, I don't want to go through this again because then it's going to be easy to declare, I'm out of pay now or I can have to work, so I'm not doing any more. I will do the work, but I'm not declaring I'm doing the work.
Then I think you need to be a bit wise with that and make sure that you're not doing loads of overtime. If you're not going to claim for it, you need to cut off and say, I'm not doing that on a Saturday night. I am not.
The signal's breaking up, I can't.
Shut up. Do you forget? I know where to find you, Mr. Baxter. I know exactly where to find you.
And if I could just make another point, the way that we can do this and introduce it, because we talked when we had that informal coffee at Heather's, that
There's too much in the way.
we need to start reducing the amount of time we use the word the previous administration. So it's kind of antagonising it and could actually end up turning against us after a period of time. So the way that we introduce this is to say that in order that we can maintain a close and careful eye on the financial situation of the parish council and the village hall, we are introducing a series of performance metrics which will allow us to monitor and manage the financials much more closely. And these will be comprised of a series of measures where we can actually clearly see where your money is being spent in relation to the parish council and the management of the village hall. And these measures will be boom, 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 boom. And they're the things that we can then regularly report on. So in this quarter, people, X amount of money have been spent on expenses, which is over the equivalent period, a reduction of Y. And so we go on.
It makes me mad because
It's basic financial reporting that we should have performance measures.
Why? It annoys me because this hasn't been questioned previous to our administration. Nothing was in place, nothing was monitored, nothing was reviewed. And now we're in this, it's like we're the ones,
we're being held to a different set of standards.
And that's wrong.
It is wrong, but
I'm being done for fraud, you know that.
But unfortunately that's how these people work, because they are quite clear on their culpability. So what they try to do is to, diss and challenge. I think they're feeling very vulnerable, and that's my experience.
But that's their problem, not mine. Don't make my life
that's
hell.
That's how they try to manage it. So that if they can discredit us, then A, it makes them look better, and B, it also takes away a big risk that they're obviously anticipating may come at them. And I think that's the bottom line of it.
I'm going to put in the minutes is the finance committee recommended to introduce, and I've tried to get it from this word, exceptional performance indicator mechanism. So how much we spend in regards to the management and success of the Carey Council.
And village hall.
So can we make the next one expenses then?
Yes.
And if I need to help you with that, then we'll get it sorted.
I don't need any help. I just need access to the information.
So what is there any information that we can give Carey access to? So we don't necessarily need access to the whole drive, but maybe is there a file with expenses in that could be shared? You've got the bank statements for the last 12 months from previous admin.
I have. Well, I don't need the bank statements because if I go back through the way that they used to collate the financial information that month on month, there's an overview every month, which is where I got the overtime from. There's an overview every month which actually says, each individual cost element of the finances and how much is against that. I need the same thing. Well, it's also Heather, it's everybody's expenses. So
it's only Heather's claims twice.
If you've got all the claims for the period of time, if you pop those over to me, then I'll go through the historic data.
It's a good one to do because at Christmas we didn't claim anything. So therefore, that we're already a grand up already.
Yes.
So it's a good one to do, it's a good one to set. And if you've got that data and we've got that other stuff, then that's great.
And we can also do it on Village Hall Hire, we could do it on, we could do it
I
on
think
any of the
expenses is the
financial
one
measures that we have.
I think overtime was the pressing, but I think this one needs to be expenses. I think we need to nail that one next because that's the biggie.
Yeah.
Only other thing then before we close is what we're doing about next meeting. In an ideal world, I would do this every single month like this. And regardless of what the arseholes on Facebook say, I would call it in the day because I don't like this nighttime business. I feel quite vulnerable and I'm absolutely not looking forward to tomorrow for that specific reason. So I do like days. It's obviously your availability. But then once we've got Heather on, we'll still be coring.
Yeah,
just be,
that'd be really helpful.
Which will be a massive thing.
Yeah.
I like to do it monthly, but
I think that went extremely well. We got some real key messages out there in a managed way. We showed robust analysis and backup as to the reasons that we put forward for the various decisions. Beautifully prepared. The clarity of the information was fantastic. I think we should try and get as much of that information out to the general public as possible.
I think a lot of that can go onto the Facebook page.
On the Facebook.
But this also means now tomorrow, Billy, that you know what I've prepped.
Yeah.
Just chuck it at me.
Yeah.
Because I've been videoed today, that's going to end up anywhere.
Yeah.
And in for a penny, in for a pound. So just chuck it at
I
me.
was going to.
Tomorrow night, when it comes to finance meeting, the finance committee will say, Billy, if you just have to do 50 say, and then it comes to 50. That's what I would recommend. I would go through absolutely every line by line.
No.
I would go over and overview all whatever you feel comfortable with.
So if I prep an overview overview of this meeting for tomorrow. Obviously, I won't be going into depth on the DFID because that's a separate agenda point. We won't be going into depth over the pre-step because that's a separate agenda point. In fact, most of it is a separate agenda point, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like,
On the plan that we recommended, that the DFID went down this avenue and the pre-step went down this avenue. And I say it's fully discussed, as to how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
No.
So both of those, you want me to refer those to Vicky for those?
Yeah, for a finance committee perspective, yes.
Yeah.
and that will help you because I think, I don't know about you, but yeah, but I don't know about you, but when I have to speak, I'm so now worried about the words that I say being manipulated and used against me, and complaint number 4 appearing at work, that I'm overthinking things, and like when I got to the last bit before we did close, I was muddling all my words up, but that's because inside you're thinking, I'm nearly there, I don't have to worry so much about my wording anymore. So
I don't get that because normally I'm attacked before the end, so that's what it is.
But if they give you notice to attack me,
But I wouldn't worry about that because at the end of the day,
Don't
just,
worry.
Don't worry about it.
but just think, we are volunteers, we're doing our best for this community, and anybody who saw that video, who had half a brain and an ounce of morals, would think that meeting went very well. Really?
Yeah. Did anybody see BBC this morning?
No, I don't watch the news, it depresses
Did you see it? Baron, what's her name, love, was on there about police not pursuing matters and how it affects victims and stuff like that. And there's a panorama programme on tonight about it.
No shit, Sherlock, let's watch that.
Yeah, and that's what I thought, because the fracas out here the other day with me and Sam, the lady who spotted it across the road, that's the lady who lives opposite us.
Oh, she gave a statement.
I hadn't seen her. She said she's quite happy to make a statement on our behalf. But Sam does a lot of pressure. She's stressing up as it is. But she's an ex-journalist and she does communication for North East Links Council. And she said that the police matter is a big one. Once you get that, that's the icing on the cake. You then need to take it to something like Panorama or
No, North Yorkshire Inquirer, that's
or the Guardian or the Telegraph, I think she said.
Well, I mean,
The next meeting then, when in February, are we talking mid-February?
what's the date today? The 11th. 8. Oh my God, I'm not even on the right day. Similar sort of time, surely.
when I told my mum, she said, oh good, it's in the day.
Yeah, I know.
I said, yes, and she said, oh, well, a lot more people come in the day.
Yeah,
I don't care what people think. It was my decision.
Yeah.
That's what we
But actually-
agreed. That's the way it is. Stick it up your ass. I
And
don't
in
care.
my opinion, that's fair. There are people are moaning on Facebook who never come anyway.
No.
Yeah, where was Sean today? He's
Yeah.
at work, he didn't work on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But
Or Emma.
but there are elderly people. We've got an elderly.
Monday the 12th.
What's the word?
Population
Yeah.
demographic.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And that's why Mum said good, because she said like she hates coming out at night.
Yeah.
Monday the 12th. Are you around? In? Out? Oh, see, this is the problem now.
But you'll have to
I didn't hear that, but I'm assuming it was something sarcastic because you're smirking.
We can't get our gloves out and do that now, can we? Now you're a virtual presence.
There's always a way. Always.
Go on.
Go.
What did you say?
I said, I noticed your words last like you're going to a funeral.
What did I say to you when I
You
walked
said
out
that.
the door? That is so weird. I said it feels like I'm going to a funeral. Plus black is thinning. I don't do bright colours. You don't know me very well.
Yeah.
I don't do bright colours. The problem we're going to have going forward with daytime meetings is that both me and Heather work opposite days. So unless Carey is around,
Carey, when are you back? I think you go on the 29th.
I'm going to really struggle this year. I don't know when I'm going to be back, to be honest.
you're all coming back though.
Well, I'm going to try as often as I can. I mean, I will regularly for Mum, obviously. but the situation's changed up there a little bit, as Billy and Simon know. So I've got to get the house finished by the end of April, because that's when the building warrant runs off. So I doubt I'm going to be back before May.
Yeah.
One thing I can suggest is not make a per date, and then you can always decide, and it's whenever it's for, because you don't have to decide now.
I was going to say, yeah, well, we're a committee, you don't have to have a set date.
No, I'm going to have to speak to Heather because, and also on top of that, we're then talking lead up to SAT, and I've got one hell of a cohort to drag through that, so I'll have a look.
I've got meetings to decide in due course.
Yes, please.
And then that doesn't mean that we can't do the work, it just means that for a meeting, but I would agree daytime meeting, and I would consider a daytime meeting for the whole council, because I think that's getting rid of the nighttime aggro for days.
It's just people who are employed. I mean, Matt would struggle with that, so would you, so would Heather.
I could, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is out for me, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is out for Heather, so that doesn't actually leave. Although I am more than happy, guys, to not be available.
It could be really interesting, actually, to see what happens tomorrow night. So if Shaw's not available and Nocton's on, then it might be worth shifting it to a Tuesday rather than a daytime meeting, because if you're cutting out the main protagonists,
which is why we did what we did.
Yeah, it could be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, who pitches up.
Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow night.
And then make a decision.
I have to be honest, I'm dreading it, but
I know you do. I don't want to be there.
I know I'm going to get shouted at that arsehole sitting over there in the corner. Flip video.
I think you should just go down the route of saying as little as possible.
That's what normally happens, because I can't say.
Say as little
we know
as possible.
Travel face will be, but rather than asking questions, should we make statements and rejecting them at everything like that from centre? And I think we're going to have to do the same as we did that first time, Simon. Just if you all keep quiet, we just carry on and just ignore what she's saying as much as possible.
Yeah. I would agree.
If it's statements and not questions, then we just carry on.
But people have now, she sat and videoed that. She was the only one who sat and videoed that. So we now have a meeting that she wasn't involved in, that ran okay, with no disruption.
Very, very
It
well.
ran in an organised, controlled manner. Something that she's not a part of. We've now got that as opposed to a meeting that she is opposed for. So, in a way, you've got two contrasting meetings. I wish there had been more people here, because in hindsight, it would have been good for them to see that when she isn't involved.
I don't think you need a video for that. I mean, I've seen enough comments on Facebook about the fact that I think it was some Joanne Butters said a shambles of a meeting, and the other person said, well, it's funny how we see what we expect to see, because I saw a chair desperately trying to keep control of the meeting in the face of a barrage of disruption from Councillor Gale. And so they see it. They're not stupid, these people. They see it.
I do think, though, that you should have advice. And if Matt wants to take it, I think that's great, because he's not here.
We've got to have a vice chair, we have to have one.
You do need advice, because if you find that... I think you should. Because if you
that's absolutely,
if you find, I think it would be an awful place for you to be in, that you feel like tomorrow, if it's too much for you mentally, you can't, when you're in a state of and I know, because I've been there, when your brain won't organise, you just have that flight or fright and need to get out. And actually, if you've got no outlet, if you can't just say, I'm walking and leaving it to a vice to deal with, then you're trapped. And when you feel trapped, it's worse.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't do that anyway, because you can't.
No, I know you wouldn't.
You can't hand over to a vice chair in the middle of that's just.
You can.
I couldn't.
See, yeah, but Billy, this is.
Whether you would or wouldn't, you can't. I would recommend for the next, not tomorrow, but after the next meeting, is one of the agenda points is the vice chair.
We've got it. Well, you need to put that out there that you want to. See, I think Goodwin's going to try and work his way on, and then you've got two people, Gail and him, and they'll be pushing things onto the agenda.
They will,
Oh, what is Mark saying? That's interesting stuff.
Even if they don't put anything on the agenda, that the clerk and the chair doesn't agree with. It doesn't matter who they are, because according to the standing orders, the client and the secret proper officer in consultation with the chair, so they can't get anything on. The only thing that they can do is any agenda point that we agree should be on, they can propose a second, but unless you vote for it as agreement, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Is it worth pointing out tomorrow, because she will be on about the amount of things that she wanted on the agenda and how none of it have made, is it worth pointing, because she probably sound annoying actually, but can we not say that these agenda points, her suggestions were shared with council and the majority vote was that these were not added on. So it doesn't look like you're going, no, she can't have it, she can't have
a
it.
vote, not anything else.
What I can say is, I took consultation with the chair and the remaining councillors.
Yeah.
We can't say a vote, you can't vote unless it's agreed.
Okay,
We can't
is
say
it words
through
then?
consultation with other councillors, these agenda points that she had raised, and either were inappropriate or B, had
Yeah.
been talked about.
What were the agenda items?
I'll ask the question in.
How we work with our holiday meals. One was,
What the fuck is wrong with
how
you? Give me what bollocks. So, well, why don't we just say the agenda items were not considered to be
They don't go to the community, so
items that would add value to the community if they were discussed at a council meeting. I'm sorry, but what we do when you're on fucking holiday is nothing to do with anybody else but us.
Well, you didn't stop when I was in hospital. You
No.
carried on, and
She's still living.
That was the argument.
I'm
When she,
defending that.
we couldn't have the meeting about the
I had to wait
HR
for
when
me.
she wasn't here.
I can't see how to save that.
It automatically saves because it's
Yeah.
drives.
Anyway.
So I think we just say they weren't adding value to the community, or that the discussion would have distracted from the main aim of the council.
Yeah.
I don't think we
I'm
should.
not allowed to say, I'm the horrible ogre, I make decisions horrible.
No, you can't. Not allowed to say that,
And
mate.
I'm a bully. Did you know that?
I think we should stop apologising for doing what we want to do. We're a council.
Absolutely.
I'm not apologising to everyone.
Anyway, come on, tell me what.
Oh yeah. So Mark called me out and said I've just overheard a nice tidbit of information which you might be interested in.
We'll go for it.
Apparently Aldridge went outside and Val Savage and Linda Dickinson happened to be in the locale.
Yeah.
And he went over to them, all effusive and friendly, and said, oh, I'm going to be able to get you a lot of money grants for the WI. So they said, oh, well, right, okay. Because they know how he's behaved towards
Yeah. And he's only doing that.
So they said, okay, well, thank you. So Mark said, came into town, he said, guess what? So I said, oh, well, tell him to grab his bloody hand off and say, right, jog on then, get us as much money as you can.
That's the.
So that's interesting. Is he trying to worm his way back into the religious faith?
They get so much money they can give to their ward. I think last year, it all went to Holt and Clay. I'm not sure if we've got anything here. But, hey,
If it turns up, then it's a nice little learner.
quite interesting.
Good for
Very
WI,
interesting.
No, another bit of interesting stuff. I don't think she'll have the balls to do it. Well, of course not, because she's a woman, but.
That doesn't
you know,
necessarily
when they
stop
don't
someone.
have
but-
balls, that's what I want to.
Sam's sister lives in Holt and Clay, and she goes along to their little tea meeting on a Tuesday, and Aldridge always goes along as well. So she was toying with the idea of saying, what's this stuff about what's going on in North Thorsby? And then when you go about the clerk and the chair, she can then turn around and say, actually, the chair is my brother-in-law.
Oh, I hope she has got the balls to do it.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I'd just like to see, because he'll be doing that in front of all the women I want to do their tea after.
And that, and the top and bottom of it, that's why Emma Porter's got involved. Because she's here having her ears chewed.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And that interesting conversation with Heather, she had no idea of what's going on. But I hope
Nobody
she doesn't
does,
think
yeah.
we're clowns now. But she lied. She said, I didn't say you were a clown. I didn't say you were clowns. She called one particular person a clown. Well, that's a lie, because bunch is plural. She needs to go back to school. That's a number of, and that makes it gross.
Well, she should have gone, if she'd had any guts or integrity at all, she would have gone onto Facebook and and she would have publicly said, I'm sorry my comments were in error. But no, she won't do that, will she? So they're all the same. And I wouldn't worry, it's the minority, they're a bunch of warriors, and all we can do is soldier on and do what we need to do well.
It's the abuse on Facebook for me because
Yeah, it gets to me as well.
Well, that's
it
all,
does,
but that's
and
all.
I don't.
And I have to say, after tomorrow night, I'm leaving, well, I won't leave Claire's page because I want to go back on there, but I'll stop following it.
Yeah, I don't follow
I won't be.
Why is Claire allowing all this crap on all of a sudden?
Claire is actually very, she's got rules and she applies them to herself as well.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Yeah.
And
she
you know, you
does,
can't blame
yeah.
them. But what I will say is that the bundles have all gone off to Josh today. We're up to
All right.
£1,300 in the kitty for any legal action.
Well,
We
you saw that, I
started-
said both me and Sam are happy with our victim statement.
Yeah, I didn't send them to him because if he asks, I want him to concentrate on the evidence and tell us whether he thinks there's actually. Because what he said, he'll flick through the bundle. I thought, good luck with that, mate. And then he'll come back to us with the quote as to how much he expects it to cost to get to fruition. But his recommendation, I think, talking to him was really sound. So if he satisfies himself that there is defamation, which obviously he has to do as a lawyer before he can act for us, he will write an extremely targeted letter to Tony, which will specifically cite evidence and quotes that he has put on social media or in emails which breach the harassment and defamation legislation. And then if Tony decides to get himself lawyered up, he should take that to a solicitor, and the solicitor then will see the quality of the evidence that we have, and that will help his solicitor decide whether it's worth fighting it or whether it's worth just saying, look, you know, you're right, it's nothing you do, stop. But yeah, I don't know if you've got perspective on that, Simon, from your legal background.
I would say, yeah, the first thing always is an effort from a solicitor to basically say, stop it, put all this evidence, carry on doing it, we're up to court. If he's got any brain power whatsoever, and I obviously have an opinion on that, he will look at us and go, okay, I'm not going to get involved with this. We're not making a claim in this yet. But I think it's the exact right port of call to go down this route first. Because then if it carries on, you can then go to court and say, warned you, you carried on. And he can't ever defend himself to say, I didn't know I was breaking the law. So absolutely spot on, to be honest. I would say, completely separate thing, send an email from Adrian's point about saying when it's a comparison of the before, compare the Wesley Centre as well. So I'll leave that up to that as well. You just send an email.
He's a good fellow, Adrian Corey.
Absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he is pretty good.
What does he want us to do? Use the Wesley Centre figures in comparison.
Yeah.
Although we've always had,
we don't own the Wesley Centre.
no,
No, it's
for
compare what our
comparative
charges
rates.
are.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But we have, if I can just say, this is it, that I think this is critical. We have always had or adopted a position that we don't go into competition with the Wesley Centre. So we don't try and undercut them, poach their customers, and vice versa, because we're both village organisations and we should
And they
work
do a lot
together.
of good stuff as
They
well.
do a lot of good stuff. So
We can show that we charge this, they charge that, or at local similar or something like that.
yeah, as long as it
Yeah.
doesn't appear that we're saying we charge less than the Wesley Centre, so come to us. I'd be nervous about that, because they, you know, they've worked with us very closely on a number of things over the years.
And to be honest, they've got different facilities and
They have.
different imperatives.
They have.
Yeah.
They can't have alcohol on there, they won't have any form of gambling.
Yeah.
So we have to respect that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're Wesleyans. Yeah.
Well,
So for bingo, they won't even let bingo, they won't have a raffle or anything.
All these people's house.
Madam Chair, are you close to the meeting?
Yes.
Well,
I'm done.
Well done.
I'm not sure about that. Let's see how it impacts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's not
I think
right.
we just crack on and ignore the buggers. That's my opinion.
Well, I'll do my best.
And show them up for what they are.
Your best is good enough. It's
Your
not
best
your
is
problem,
good.
really. It's their problem.
Honestly, it is really.
It's hard, I know it is.
It's just trying to drum up that little extra bit of self-control, isn't it? Because what you want to do is stand and say, oh, fuck off the lot of you and walk out.
That last little bit of strength, to be honest.
Just while I've got you three out from that meeting, I can do the next full-time council meeting in consideration in March after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, next year, 2025.
What do you agree?
I think we need a gap. I do. I think for mentally, I don't know about anybody else, but there's chunks where I think, yeah, I've got this, I'm coping, I'm fine. And then that week before they start again, and I have not been present this weekend in my home. My head, in fact, my partner share messaged me and said, can we talk English Planet? And I had to say to her, I'm really sorry. I can't, my head, I can't do anything. I just can't, I'm not here. And I've had comments from quite a few people this weekend about how I'm there, but I'm not there, and that's the way it is, so I get it.
I'm getting that.
I think we need to mental
she's
health
up there as
break.
well. Can we not talk about it anymore?
We also have a few irons in the fire, haven't we? We've got the private thing with Wilkie Chapman, and we've got we're going to take, Vicky and I are going to take the bundle to the police tomorrow. And also it's all scanned. So if anybody wants to send it to anyone, I
would
can
like a copy.
send it over to you. It's a huge file, so it might not actually email, but if we have to put it on a day stick and send, I think we should consider sending it to the MP. We should consider sending excerpts of it to Mel, because it's shocking, the content, particularly the emails to you that he sends privately. I mean, if that's not harassment and intimidation, I don't know.
I've got my memory
Tomorrow
sticking
is
in
a
there.
shite day.
So we need to just think about how we use it.
Do you use Windows or are you
I guess it's all PDF documents.
No, I was thinking about gave you a memory stick. Is that
Yeah, download it,
Right,
please.
guys, well done. I'm going to leave you. So I'll put on the right up to full control of the play.
You played golf yesterday, don't lie.
Enjoy. Thank you, Simon, as always.
I'm going to see if I can get a speed limit up to that.
See you soon. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did that before recording starts. I am denied, I didn't know whether to say to that my video actually is recording it. And I thought, no, actually, that's our race, not yours. Yeah.
It is. I don't know what it is. We need to stop him doing this previous conversation. I thought we agreed about headers and he did it 3 or 4 times.
Did he?
Yes.
I missed that.
So we need to stop him doing that. If he's going to say it, he needs to compare it year on year. So 22, 23, 23, 24. He can't keep saying they
No,
apply.
I'll do that. I'll message him later.
Because that's what they'll come back to us with. And it
I
isn't,
was just
it
hoping-
isn't on. It's not on. It's
No.
not professional. It's not.
I was just hoping that she wouldn't have really picked up much of what Simon said from the back of the room. That's where I was with that, really.
But still.
I'll stop there.
And you know, I don't want it to appear that we're censoring him, but
No.
I don't think it's the
To
way
be honest,
to continue.
No, and we have had this conversation already of not mentioning the previously, because that's something else they're sticking us with at the moment.
Absolutely.
I will remind him for tomorrow.
So he can use year on year because
Unless
that's
Unless
an
you want to
appropriate.
do it, then I'll happily take him to
Sorry, I was
previous
I
about mentioning.
got a message about Terry offering money to WI.
I've got loads of messages from people wanting to know if I'm still alive. I don't.
So just to
Well, you
finish
have a
up-
word with him.
well, if you could, rather
I can
than
do it.
sort of saying, rather than saying don't say it, can you say, can we start comparing it to financial years? Or 22, 23, you know, as opposed to 22, 23, we have done this, or
I
over the
think
board, or less
I
than
might
more.
need to be a bit more latent. Leave it with me, I'll start.
Because I think that's the one thing now that's potentially let us down.
But in what context?
Well, just saying, we've got better procedures now in place than the previous administration. The previous administration didn't have a monitoring and checking process with either.
Yeah.
We did it in the financials. So the previous administration didn't have, budgets for this or forecasts for that. And he mentioned it 3 or 4 times. I nearly emailed him partway through that, thought, throw him, so I didn't. And to be fair, we might not have told him after our conversations.
I don't know whether it's a concept. I think I have had, but I'll have to scoot back over messages and find out.
Anyway,
what it actually said.
I think just for the future, let's
Yeah.
leave that behind and move on with our lives. Can I just put this away?
Shall I see what Golden Powder are saying?
Oh yeah. How many cops we going to
Have I got another one? Oh, look, this one's still Saturday. Check.
Ooh, check for what?
Oh, that's what I meant to ask Simon. What I meant to do is I've got a lot of money at home.
Yeah, how do you pay cash into Unity Bank?
Yes.
That's what costs
think-
my money.
I think finance said you,
Oh, this is from November.
oh, it's that one. Oh, that crap. What shall I do with this?
Is it a check?
It is a check.
Who pays it in?
It goes to Simon.
Who pays it in?
I need to speak to him. I may as well, if you want me to take it, I can take it.
I think checks go to him and he can pay it at the post office.
Yeah, but I've got £122 something or other in cash sat in my house.
Well, if you pay at the post office, it can go and
This
help
is
with
what I
that.
mean. If I can pay, I could probably pay that
Same time.
at the same time as that cash, because I need to get rid of that. It's sat.
Well, why don't we go into lab post office tomorrow?
Well, I need to check that we can do that for Unity, but I'll take it and.
We must have paid inserts for Unity.
I think they're downloadable from the bank account. If I remember reading right, if I remember, we had this conversation, and I think you can download them from the actual bank.
So we can do that tomorrow and get it in. At least it's not kicking around at your house, is it?
I think I might go to my mum's for a cup of tea, because she's clearly had an echo about this.
She was just worried, I think. She
Yeah.
was very worried.
I think Goodwin, because he's been like that with me until today, and then when I went about the phone, I went, actually, he's just hand-faced. He's going to come at us because he didn't get the contract for the bank.
Oh, and it's coming at us because he thinks.
I'm not apologising to those people.
No. And at the end of the day, I don't want Goodwin on, because I've had several emails about my conduct, about how I had a warning shot from him today, an email telling me to be prepared. Make sure you're prepared.
This is how
I can't work with him. If he gets on, I'm up, because there's no way I can work with that.
I know, he is just bad as that. And they are together.
Of course they are.
He's part of it. He is part of
Well,
it.
but
he's not in it, he's in it for himself.
of course he is.
He's not in
got
it
his
for
private gym that he got.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he
He
wants,
needs shopping for that.
yeah, and he wants, when he came round to sort of size up the job, and he didn't do anything like the spec that we told him he needed, he said, oh, I've got all these ideas, I want to, I'd quite like to have a solar farm down there and all this, that, and the other.
Which is interesting, because that's a project that Simon's been working on with Spaldington,
Oh, right.
which
Yeah.
is very interesting.
And probably that's why he wants on the council, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, look at me, how wonderful am I?
Well, no,
Oh,
to
he
get his own
is, yeah,
projects.
he's buying his way
Of
up.
course he is, yeah.
Anyway, we're not full. They have to be voted on, we don't have to take them on, they didn't take